Do you know what you can buy with pocket money? And it's also been called murder in a can. White cider. Surely manufacturers of white cider have heard how some of their customers puncture the bottom of the can so they can drink the contents of the can in one go to get a bigger high. That's what we're dealing with here. It's no different from drugs you can buy in the street. They know that the NHS spends millions mopping up the health problems that are created by cheap alcohol like white cider. They know that police forces spend millions wiping up the mess that white cider costs, the damage that it does to society. White cider manufacturers reap the cash rewards, but they don't wipe up the devastation that their product causes. They leave that for somebody else. Traditional quality cider manufacturers use a high percentage of freshly squeezed apple juice from apples got from the orchard. White cider is produced from, once you squeeze the apple juice out of the apple, the pulp that's left, they somehow use that to flavour their product and to having a cider-like taste, but they don't actually use any apples. Because quality cider does use apples and it has it's a high production cost. It costs 10 to 20 times more money to produce quality cider than it does to produce cheap cider. You see, cheap cider can be produced in a matter of days because it only uses concentrate. With quality cider, it has to come from, the apples have to come through an orchard, and by the time it gets all the way through that process, it can be a year. But white cider can be produced in a matter of days, where quality cider takes a year. You can produce this mug in a couple of days. Sainsburys and Tesco's have now banned white cider because they know the problems it causes in society. But Iceland, B&M, Amazon and Spar, to name but a few, still sell it. They continue to ignore health professionals, and they continue to sell a product that has enormous enormous problems basically in society. They still sell it. How come, if Tesco and Sainsburys know it's deadly, because they have read the medical journals and all, they know it's deadly, and they says, right, we're not selling any more of it. How come B&M, Iceland, Spar and Amazon, they still sell it? I'd like to ask them why. Capitalists, business people would sell strawberry flavoured asbestos to children if the law let them away with it. They would have no moral objection to do it if the law would allow it. Look at cigarette manufacturers. Up until recently, they wouldn't even admit that cigarettes caused addiction. Up until recently, they wouldn't even admit that cigarettes cause cancer. That's what we're dealing with here. And people who produce and sell white cider are the same until they're dragged through a bush backwards and taken into court and told, no, you by law, you cannot produce this. They will continue to make money from it. Cash is king.